When you think about planning your homeschool year, for some of us, that raises excitement. For others, the feeling might be more intimidation. We want to give you some encouragement and practical help as you look at planning for the school year ahead. And be sure to watch to the end to hear about an exciting new free tool that will help you in your planning. Welcome to the Simply Charlotte Mason podcast. I'm Sonya Schaefer. Maybe this is your first time planning your school year as a homeschooler, or maybe you've done it quite a bit. Either way, it can be a mixture of uncertainty and excitement. What we want to talk about today are just some practical tips that will help keep it simple for you as you are planning. And joining me is my friend and coworker, Karen Smith. Karen, we've probably planned, oh mercy, how many years of school have we planned?
Many.
Yeah.
We'll just leave it at that.
Decades of schoolwork.
You more than me.
Yeah, mine kept going for quite a while there. And it got somewhat simpler each year, it got easier, but there were always some challenges that each new year would bring. So let's pull out of our magic bag of tricks here. What are some of the things that really helped us keep our planning doable and, dare I say, even simple, or simpler than the year before? You want to start in? What's one thing that helped you?
I think one thing that helped me was to combine my kids in as many subjects as possible.
Oh, yes.
So when we were studying history, everybody did the same history time period. And I would read books to all of my children that were suitable for all of them, no matter if they were on the younger side or the older side. And then the older children, I could assign meatier books for them to do on their own that were still in the same time period. So we all had that together. But that time together was everybody. Not you're doing U.S. history and you're doing ancient history and you're doing Middle Ages.
I can't juggle that many balls.
I can't do that. Not with running a household, too.
No.
You just can't. And so, that boiled down to basically the only subjects that they did that were on their own were reading lessons, math, science when they were older.
Yes.
In the younger grades, I could combine them. And handwriting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Language arts, reading and handwriting, yeah.
Those types of things where they're very skill-based and not everybody is at the same level.
Yeah, and they each need to go at their own pace. So those were the things to do one-on-one, individually with each student. But I agree, combining them, there are so many things in a Charlotte Mason approach. You've got history, geography, Bible,
picture study, music study, poetry,
hymn singing,
art,
Shakespeare, art, handcrafts. I mean, so many, yeah.
That you can do all together, no matter the ages of your children.
And that saves so much time planning as well as teaching.
Yes, and it can also save a little bit on the budget.
Absolutely, because you're not buying a separate book for each student in each of those subjects.
Yes.
It's just one resource. We're all doing it together.
Yes.
Yeah, that helped immensely.
So that's one thing that I did that I find is very easy to do at Charlotte Mason. The other is start your year slowly. Don't try to do, how many subjects are there in a Charlotte Mason education?
About 18 or so.
18 or so. Don't start with all 18 that first week of school. Yes, many of those subjects are only once or twice a week, but if you try and do it all, you're going to burn yourself out in that first week or two trying to do it all.
Burnt out. So, we made it 3 weeks through.
So start with just a few of them. Maybe if you have younger kids, you start with reading lessons and math that first week, and that's all you do and get your rhythm going. Maybe it takes you 2 weeks to get into the rhythm of that. Then you can add something else. Maybe you add picture study and composer study because those don't take much time.
And they're just
not
once
every
a
day.
week each, yeah.
Right. So slowly ramp up to what is a full schedule for you in your home.
And that can also help with the planning part of it, because planning 2 subjects is not nearly as potentially intimidating as planning 18 subjects.
Yes. And remember to take into consideration everything else that you are doing.
Yes.
You are a home. You are a household. Charlotte Mason had schools, for the most part. There were people outside of the schools who were using her materials.
But they had a dedicated governess
Yes.
usually.
Yes.
And
well,
servants.
Mom did all the things that needed
Yeah.
to be done in the household.
Yeah.
But mostly, we are moms, we are wives, we have laundry to do, we have meals to prepare.
We have preschoolers running around,
Yes.
babe in arms.
Yes. And diapers to change, messes to clean up, children to make sure that they're not squabbling someplace, and that there's all those things that come with home life, and now you're adding formal lessons into that mix. And so you have to find what works for you and how does that work for your family, particularly if you have outside commitments too, if you're involved in a co-op or your kids are in sports or have music lessons, swim lessons, any of those things that can be a part of a child's life. You need to consider those as you are scheduling your school year also.
So part of this easing into your year is also simplifying as much as you can.
Yes.
You don't have to do everything all at once.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
And that plays into one of my tips, actually, is you don't have to do all of your planning all at once. Some years I would. Some years I would tell the kids, all right, I'm setting aside these 3 days, and I'm going to be head down doing our planning. And get out all the books and lay them all out and just put together. It's like a big jigsaw puzzle. And I love doing that type of stuff. So I'm just going to spend 3 days doing my happy thing and doing all the planning. But there were other years that was not going to be possible. And I needed to do just a little bit of it each day and take maybe an hour a day and maybe I would do some of the subjects for family work on this day and do a few more family work on this day and then do this child's individual subjects on this day. So spreading them out or doing them all together, you don't have to chisel it in stone. It doesn't have to be the same way every single year.
Or every single week.
True.
You might have things appointments, special grandparents are visiting, who knows? But you can take it week by week even. You might have an overall, this is what we want to accomplish
Your
this
plan
year.
for the term and the year, yeah.
But you may, depending on your family circumstances, maybe planning once a week is what you need to do. What will we get done this next week?
Just a short.
Yes.
Yeah, as you said, you have your overall plan, so it's not just, oh, let's see, what should we do? It's what part of the plan should we
Yes.
accomplish this week?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
this month. Or maybe you plan, I know you sometimes did several weeks on and then a week off.
Yeah, we often did 3 weeks on, 1 week off.
Yes.
And the off week was a project week. So we would like paint a room in the house or do something like that.
But you can also do that and have that off week, at least have some planning for the next 3 weeks or
Yeah.
4 weeks or 6 weeks or however you want to divide up your school year. And so you do have those, you can have those little touches throughout the year.
Yeah, it's not, you have to do it all now or it's never going to happen
Yes.
again.
As you
Yeah,
said, it's
absolutely.
it's not written in stone.
Right.
We can erase it and rearrange and find out what's working for us. And if something is not working, feel free to eject it
Yeah, absolutely.
and do something else. Or if it's something that just does not fit with the time that you have for your family, feel free to let it go, at least for this year. Maybe your kids are younger and you can't fit in all of those subjects for Charlotte Mason. You're not going to ruin your children if you wait until they're a little older and are able to be a bit more independent in their bathrooming needs and feeding themselves and cleaning up their rooms and those sorts of things, so it's not all dependent on you. And you can fit in maybe composer when they get older. You're not going to ruin them if they don't have composer study every year, first grade through 12th grade.
Just pick a composer and play the music during lunch.
Yes.
I mean, make it simple.
Yes.
Keep it simple. I love the term flexible structure.
Yes.
That's the goal, I think, when you're planning and as you're walking through your year. You need the structure. This is not unschooling. You know,
Yes.
we have structure because the teacher is the guide. But it has to be flexible or it's going to break down.
And with that, not being able to do all the subjects, think about your own education. How many Shakespeare plays did you read when you were in school?
I didn't even read it.
See, I'm surprised.
I
had
all
a
it
public
was-
school education, and I had more Shakespeare than most people I talked to.
No, I did not. I had one, and it was only, we had a substitute teacher, and so it was, here, watch this Shakespeare video.
That was it?
That was it.
Oh, wow.
That was all.
I had to do at least 4
Wow.
in my education, and they were always the tragedies. I never understood that. But
Everybody dies before the third act.
yes. but how many Shakespeare plays did you do? You know, you did 1.
Yes.
I did 4. If I don't do Shakespeare for my children, starting in what grade do we recommend they start?
Third or fourth
Third
grade.
or fourth grade, where they would do 1 Shakespeare play from 3rd or 4th grade through 12th grade. That's a lot of Shakespeare plays. I didn't have that many. Did you?
No.
No. Our goal is to give our children a rich education, and that's going to look different for your family and for my family and for anybody else's family. But if you only got 1 Shakespeare play and you only do Shakespeare in the high school years for your children, they have more Shakespeare under their belts than you did when you graduated, don't
That is
they?
true. That is true.
Same for poets and composers, artists, that sort of a thing. If you don't have the capacity to do all of those 18 subjects when your children are 1st and 2nd and 3rd grade, don't panic.
Yeah.
It's okay. They're still getting that rich education when you can bring those in. And it might be 1 artist a year
Right.
to begin with,
But that's better than none.
but that's better than none.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yes. Yes. You often talk about your family's capacity.
Yes.
What do you mean by that?
Every family has their own dynamic and what they are able to reasonably fit into their time set aside for education. And they might not have time for all those subjects within that week because of outside commitments or because they've got young babies in the house or they've got older children who need someone to transport them to their place of employment, or they're taking dual enrollment classes, and all these things that are part of our homes, our family life, have to be factored into that. And so by what your family has capacity for means what are you able to fit in to that time you have for that. Now, we want to be careful that we're not just saving a half an hour of our time for educating our children.
Right.
And we want to give them that full education to the best of our abilities. But as we've been talking about, if you can only fit 1 artist in every year, that's better than none.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that might be maybe you rotate 1 artist this term, the next term you do a composer, the last term you do Shakespeare. That's perfectly fine if that's what you need to do for your family to still give your children those touches with those composers and artists and poets and Shakespeare and Plutarch and all of those riches. But don't feel guilty and don't feel like you are a failure because you can't do it all.
Planning it all can be a challenge.
Yes.
As well as doing it all. And for some families, they're in the groove now. And doing the whole feast every term is just kind of like clockwork, and we're still going. That's great. And newbies, if you want to call them that, can get to that point when it fits their family's capacity. Absolutely. Yes. Let's talk for a minute about the amount of planning that you need to do. I know you could probably err on the side of two extremes. One, you're not doing enough planning. And the other extreme is you might be over planning.
Yes.
So how would you be able to tell if you've veered to one of those extremes? I've got a couple of ideas, but what ideas do you have?
Well, if you are under planning, let's say it that way, and we don't mean the subjects that you want to do. We're having a plan to do them is what we're talking about. If you're under planning and you get up every morning and you don't know what you're doing, it's a good clue that you probably haven't planned enough.
Yes.
Because if you have to make that effort every day to know, oh, what are we going to do today? That is a lot of wear and tear on your brain and creates chaos because the children don't know what to expect either.
Yeah. And you're wasting time that you could be working on the lessons.
Yes.
And instead you're trying to figure out which lessons to do.
Yes.
Now, and there is a small amount of the decision making that is going to happen every day. You know, as I'm doing this lesson, is the child grasping this math concept? Do we need to stay here for a little bit longer, or should we go ahead and move on? So there's enough decision-making that's going to happen anyway. Don't overburden yourself with showing up unprepared with no plan.
Yes.
That's just going to compound the issue. So I agree. If you wake up in the morning and it's like no clue what we're doing today, then I think you have underplanned.
Yes.
You may need to set aside some time and get yourself back on track, get some more of that structure. You're a little too much flexible.
Yes.
Okay, so then if we're on the other side,
if you're an overplanner,
too much structure, not enough flexibility, what's that look like?
In my mind, when you overplan, sometimes you never get to where you put the plan into place because you're always tweaking the plan and you never get to the point where you can implement it.
You're overthinking it.
Overthinking it,
and
should we do this? Oh, I don't know. I've planned every detail, but I don't know if they're right or not.
That could really get you
and
stuck.
So that could get you stuck.
Yeah.
Over planning might make it so that you think this is written in stone, and if you don't get to something, it throws all your plans off, and now you have to figure out what to do. And for some people, that can be very upsetting because they're box checkers, and we didn't get to check those last boxes. And it ruins the whole rest of the week because now they have to go back to planning in their minds, to figure out how to fit in those subjects that they didn't get to on Monday.
So too much structure, not enough flexibility.
Yes.
And I think the happy medium point is flexible structure.
Yes.
You want to plan, this is where we're going, but we also are going to hold it lightly because we know life happens.
Oh, it certainly does.
We wore out a lot of erasers, at least I did, my first year of planning, because I tried to plan every single day at the very beginning of the year. And life happened, and I did not allow for that, and so I was erasing quite a bit.
I didn't do that.
At least it was
I
in
had
pencil.
a direction. I knew what we were going to study for history, the time period. And I knew which books we were going to use, and I knew which math level all the kids were at. And
But you didn't write every single day in.
I wrote at the end of our day what we did. because that way I had a record, but I didn't have to erase it
You
because
did-
I just wrote what we did, not
You didn't
what we were
wear out
going
your
to do.
eraser like I did. Yeah.
But we did have a plan for each day.
Yeah.
I knew which subjects we did each
Yes.
day.
Yes.
And so that was our framework. But if a disaster happened in the home,
The dishwasher leaks all over
or
the floor.
for
yeah.
some reason the kids woke up and they were sick, and we changed plans. We might do some schoolwork that they were able to do, but it might have been a day that we sat and watched something on TV or read a lot of books just for fun that they could just be relaxed about. Or maybe it was a day I got up in the morning and my husband needed me to take him to work for some reason, or I needed the car, and that meant packing up all the kids
Yeah.
to drive him to work and then come back, and then I'd have to go get him at the end of the day, and that throws your whole day off
Yeah.
because
it
it's
can.
not the regular rhythm. So, the washing machine breaks down mid-cycle or something. Something's going to happen.
Yes. Yes. Hopefully not every day, but it could.
Yes.
You never know. So yeah, flexible structure, not swinging so far that your plan is your master and you have no wiggle room
Yes.
to change anything, or not swinging this way so that you wake up in the morning and have no clue, what shall we do
Yes.
today? Neither of those extremes is good.
I think it's helpful to have an overall big picture
Yes.
of the year and have times throughout the year that you stop and take an assessment. What did we get done? Don't look at what did we not get done,
Right.
as much as what have we accomplished? How have we grown? How have we progressed? Not so much what did we not get done.
Well, I like to do that KISS evaluation at the end of each term. What do I want to keep? What do we want to improve? What do we want to stop doing? And what do we want to start doing?
Yes.
That's an easy way to just quickly evaluate how did the term go. So, yeah, good. Flexible structure, evaluate at the end of each term, you'll be fine. One thing that I'm very excited about is our new Simply Charlotte Mason planner that will help families do all of that planning,
Yes.
no matter whether they are at that young stage where I'm just doing some of the subjects or I'm doing the whole thing.
Yes.
It's so exciting that you can go online on our website and put in your students and their age, their grade levels, and then it will give you all of our recommendations for all of the subjects. But you can change that. You can say, no, I'm not going to do that subject right now. Or I want to do geography, but I want to study a different region than you recommended.
Yes.
And that's fine. You can change those topics. Or I want to do Velasquez instead of Cassatt for
Yes.
picture study. You can change
Yes.
them. And you can customize it to fit your family's capacity and interests and where you're going. And then it will take that, all that information, it will create your shopping list, everything you need in one place. And I think you can even just click one button and it all goes to your shopping cart.
I was going to ask that. Does it put it in your shopping cart
I
for you?
believe it does.
Where you can then adjust. Oh, I
Yes.
don't need that book.
I don't need a book of centuries. I already
Yes.
have one or whatever. Yeah, you
Yes.
can adjust it in your
Or
shopping
I need
cart.
two of them rather than just one.
Yeah. So no more go to this page and I need that. Now go to this page and I need that. It can all be one click all together for you. But the best part that I really love is you can then generate from that daily lesson plans.
For a full year.
Yeah. It will tell you exactly what to do each day. It will give you your weekly schedule with all of those subjects and resources put in place and tell you exactly what to do from each resource each day. And it's all free. I know we used to sell the printed versions of this
Yes.
with our history, geography, Bible, with our individual graded studies, and with our enrichment studies. Those are no longer available because now there's something much, much better, I think.
I think so. Because our old lesson plans for individual studies, let's take that as an example. We assumed a certain level for your child for math
Yes.
or handwriting or reading. And maybe your child is already reading as a first grader, or
Maybe still in first grade math, but reading at a second or third grade level.
Yes.
And that's not unusual for children to vary in different subjects.
or at second grade level for math, but still learning how to read.
Right.
And so you can customize that with this
The new planner. Yeah.
And so instead of being stuck, if you will, with something that did not fit
Yeah.
your child and your family, you can customize. We'll give you our recommendations, but you can change them.
Right. We want to give the recommendations because sometimes you just don't know where to start.
Yes.
And so it's like, okay, this is what we would usually recommend in this situation, but you can adjust it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I can see this saving moms lots of time
Hours.
with trying to decide what are we going to do and which artist should we choose, and that we give suggestions so they have a starting place.
Right. Because making all those decisions takes a lot
Yes.
of effort.
And then how to schedule those for the whole year, and this does it for them.
Yeah. Every single day.
That's-
And I love
that's
that
wonderful.
each day it just says day 1, day 2, day 3.
So you're never behind.
And you can take off a day wherever you need to. You could do a 4-day-a-week schedule. That's fine. Just do day 5 on the next Monday and keep going, or however you want to
Right.
slice and dice it. You're just working your way through the days as it works.
There's no dates on it. So if you
Yes.
miss a day, we didn't do October 7th day. Now we're behind.
Nope,
Nope.
not with this.
You just pick up where you left off.
Yeah, not a problem at all. So we'll leave a link to the new planner in the show notes, in the description. And I hope everybody gives it a try.
Yes.
I think it will save a lot of time and a lot of brain cells
Yes.
for planning to keep it
Yes.
simple. Be sure to check the description for a link to that Simply Charlotte Mason planner. I hope it will be a great benefit to you and a great help and make your planning quite simple for this year. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time.